Hey guys, John back again with another fun project. One of the issues that we have is getting stuff up and down in our attic. I'm not afraid to admit it, I'm getting a little older. I don't want to haul stuff up and down those rickety stairs that you can see right there. So I have something in mind for that. So here's what I got. This, I don't know if anybody who's watching this ever heard of a system called VersaLift. It's a pretty convenient way of getting stuff up and down your attic. The problem is the largest model only goes up to about 250 pounds. It's a pretty small footprint. You know, you put some containers and stuff on it, but you really can't get big stuff on it. And like large Christmas trees, you probably have to stack it. It's got a frame around it, so it has limited height. But this is made by a company called Aladdin. This is cheaper than the biggest VersaLift. It's about $2,500 for everything. It supports 500 pounds. It has a small footprint in your attic. It's a lot larger footprint of space. Let me see if I can get the dimensions here, because it's the opening for this thing, this lift for the VersaLift is kind of like the same size as your garage door, your garage, what do you call it, stairs? So it's about the same size. But this one supports 500 pounds and its dimensions are about 46 inches wide. So usually, you know, if your joists are 16 inches on center, it would actually take up 3 joists, and that's 82 inches long. So that's about, that's like around 7 foot, 6-7 foot. That's pretty, it's a pretty big opening in your attic, but it's a pretty big footprint to get stuff up and down into your attic. So one of the issues I'm going to go over, you can see everything's aluminum and it's pretty stout, pretty big. These are all the main parts. That's one of the supports that go up. As you can see, that is how wide the opening is. But the issue is the other side of that has the motor. When it comes in, it's already assembled, and I'm telling you right now, it's pretty heavy. It probably weighs maybe 80 to 100 pounds. And that was my biggest problem, is how do you get something that heavy through that opening? Well, I'm gonna open this up and show you what I did. I could have got a friend, I could have called somebody, but it's Sunday and, I don't know what everybody's doing. See, I got these rickety stairs that go up into my attic. So I wasn't sure if I'd have somebody available. About 2 months ago, I was at an estate sale and I found a portable. See, so here's the main gear box and motor that I got up here. But I was at an estate sale and I decided they had a winch, a small portable winch that I hung right there. So it's a 12 volt. It's designed for your car or your truck. And I put it up. I need to support this a little more. As you can see, as heavy as that is, it actually started to separate this as I was winching it up the other side too. So I'm going to run some bolts through here and here. And I'm actually going to keep the winch here in case there's some objects that are, you know, really strange that need to come up here. And it, you know, just a wrench screws it right into that board. So it's pretty cool idea to get it up here. So now that I got it, I'm going to have to clean up all this space here. And the next part of the video is I'll have this open. My joists are 14-inch joists and they're 16 inches on center. So this opening for the ladder runs on that joist right there. So I'm going to go over one and I'm going to put it, I'm going to take out, I'm going to cut away that joist and that joist. So it'll go between that one and this one. And it'll take this, almost this whole area. There'll be a little area over on this side where I'll be able to walk through, but I have a pretty good amount of attic space up here. My next plan is for storage, is I have some 3/4 inch plywood and I'm gonna deck this whole area all the way down. I can't deck this area because there's my AC coolant lines, there's a gas line, and all the power, all the power cables, all the Romex for the house runs right along there. There's a bunch of Cat 5, that's my cable and everything comes in over there. So I just couldn't do it over there, but I can, there's 4 feet of space going all the way back there, all the way down, that I'll be able to use for storage. I'm just going to slap some 3/4 inch plywood on there and then we'll be good. So the next part of this video is I'm going to come in as after I'm going to cut an opening and then I have to frame it. I have to frame the size to fit the actual lift. And position here. This is the company, Aladdin. That's the model, ASL 500. The cart supports up to 500 pounds. You know, they do not recommend that you use it for your human body. It's not an elevator. Although 500 pounds is, you know, that's a lot of weight, but it's not recommended for that. And they clearly have in the instructions, do not ride it, not for human rides. And I'm going to wire it to this light, and the motor will probably sit right over in the back, over there. And then I'll just run Romex from that light down and then run power right behind there. And then when I turn the light on, that will activate the lift. I don't want the lift running if there's no light. So the switch I have outside the attic, up on the ceiling, that'll be a switch that'll give it power. And then they give you a key switch for up and down. Now I've seen some complaints of people complaining that it's pretty slow. I've seen one video of it actually working. It is kind of slow, but you know, it's a lift. You don't have to climb up in your attic. You don't have to hoist stuff up through this ladder. And I'll have some stuff organized up here. The next step is to install these joist straps. Now I'm gonna, because I've got to take out 2 joists, these straps, there's one back there, those 2 in the middle of the 2 coming out, underneath this platform here. And then, so those straps are designed to give some more support. Even though I'm going to frame up around the side of it, those give it some support because of those joists that will be taken out. I go around to the other side, and you can see I have 4 straps over there. So the main motor is going to go like right here. A little bit's going to stick out over this ladder well, but that's okay. It's not going to hurt nothing. you kind of come up on this side anyhow, so it's not going to get in the way. And it shouldn't interfere with the closing of the ladder, since it's going to be level to the top, actually maybe about 2 inches higher than the deck. So that was step 2. Step 3 now is I'm going to take that end board off, just so I have places to move around. I'm not going to cut everything out yet, but I'm going to take that end board off there, that one that goes up against that board, and then the one over here. And then I'm going to install the actual, the main motor and the other side of the winch housing. Get those in place, get them screwed in place, and get them tightened down before I take all the decking out and then cut the opening out. This way I can move around without having to worry about falling through the floor. Okay, so now I have the ceiling joist secured. I opened up one of the boards on one side and one board on the other. This will allow me to work and build the main motor assembly and winch with having a solid floor to work on. Once I get the motor assembly all in place, then I can cut the joist out, cut these 2 joists out, take all these boards and cut out the drywall. Actually, yeah, it's these 2 joists. I'm leaving that one open so I can work on, when I'm out, I got to run a lag bolt or a bolt with a nut through that one and through that one. I'll have to probably open the other side of that one a little bit. I might cut it to its next joist and then replace that board. But this will make it easier so that I can work on it while I have a solid floor to get everything in place, get the heavy stuff in place. Then I'll cut everything out and frame up. I'll have to frame across here, and then I'll have to sister up these 2 with some 1-bys that go down into the slots of that joist to kind of give it a little more stability. Okay, so I want to show you something because I have a problem. So there's my garage door ladder. There's a mark I put in the ceiling where the forward end of this opening is, and all the way over here is the second marking. So that's how wide it is. It's about almost 4 feet. Ah, boy, my problem, go all the way down to where the other side of this lift is. And there's the other end. So as you can see, if I back up, I have a problem. My garage door rails are right in the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put the lift where my attic ladder is. So I have another entrance into the into my attic on the second floor of the house. You can go out, there's a door that goes out, and there's a walkway all the way down into the attic, all the way to the garage. So my plan is to take this door out, and so I'll literally cut across there, and it'll be right to this edge here, and then it will go all the way down to there and across. So this will open up this curtain here. That's for my little paint booth that I have set up. So it'll run right along the edge of that, which will be fine. And I'll have to drape it up another way. And then all I'll have to do is just move that little card out of the way when I want to open and close. And I'll have to have the garage door shut, because this will actually, that end will actually go, the garage door will actually be in the way. It won't be able to open and close if the garage door is open, which is no big deal. So that's what we're going to do, because I cannot return this thing because it's too big, because there is a 25% restocking fee. And that will, with the price of it, will end up costing me about $625 to return it, plus shipping, which is freight, which would be $100 or $200. I ain't doing that. I will make this work. So I got a little work to do upstairs to get this in position. You know, I also have a, if I open this up, I don't know if you can see, right up in there, there is a support that goes up to the roof. And this, even though this is the end, the actual motor comes all the way out to about here. And then this pulley will go, this part right here, that has the cables on it, will probably run, you know, about a little bit to the left of that light switch, but it'll be up in there. So I think that pulley pipe will run right on the other side of that board. I'll have to see. If not, I might have to cut a notch into it, but we'll see. But you know, the main cables will come down at this corner, that corner. So it will be on this end of the board, the actual lift. I could put the motor on the other side, but I don't. I'd rather have that main pulley pipe out of the way so we can load and unload going this way in the attic. All right, so I've removed the attic ladder. There it is right there. Kind of let my winch help me do it. So now, let me get up here and turn the light on. So I've already got half up now. That's what's gonna go. I gotta cut that joist out and cut that joist. And then this here, I'm gonna go to this end, right where this cross beam is here, and just extend that to there. I'm actually put a whole new one all the way across. And cut these boards out. And then I'll be framed. And then I can put the main motor right here. I'm going to have to trim away some of that board and move that brace from there over to there. So far, progress. Okay, so like I said, I moved those straps because I thought I was going to install it here and it wasn't going to work because of the garage door. So I moved the straps over here. Now I got the main motor installed. I still got to put those two bolts in, but I got this one. This one's all tightened down. And then that's the main pulley that goes across. And I got this installed. So now that I got the hard part out of the way and the heavy part out of the way, you know, I can pull out this piece of frame, cut this out. I'm going to use my little winch up there to wrap around this ceiling joist. So I have to cut this out and then frame across there and frame across there and then sister this one up across here. And I think once we do all that framing, we'll be ready to start building the platform and wiring things up. But this was not easy, getting this set up, get the holes screwed. I put down these two pieces of 3/4 inch plywood so I would have some kind of platform to sit on and move around on, so that we'll be able to get everything in place. So once I tighten those two bolts down, then see, I had to cut a notch in that 2x4 because the frame, the main part of the motor, stuck out so far. I still got to take that cover off so that I can mount this, tighten up this shaft that goes across once I'm ready, which is just some screws around the sides, and that cover comes off, and then I can get into the back. I'll show you how that works. But all I'm gonna do now is just tighten this up, and then I'm ready to start tearing out some framing. All right, so I got the motor and everything installed. There it is up there. And I went ahead and opened up the ceiling. That's a pretty, I don't know if I can give you an idea. So that opening there is where the attic ladder goes. And that extra is how much more this goes. So now I gotta pull out that right there. I gotta cut this joist out. And then I gotta cut that out too. And I'm gonna use this long piece here. I'm gonna cut it in half to reframe across here and to reframe across right over here. And then that'll have me a wide open area to you know, start building the basket that this thing lowers. I still need to wire it. I'm gonna wire it into that light bulb up there. And you can see, you know, I don't know if it's hard to see. That light bulb is one of those three-way folding LED lights. And if you look in the beginning of this video, the lighting compared to how bright this lighting is, yeah, I think I paid on Amazon 50 bucks for 2 of those. And they're worth their weight in gold. I mean, I really like them. Let's see if I can go up and move my ladder over a little bit. Because I have a second one. Might as well pitch these lights too, because I really like them. There's the second one over there. You can see they have like little fins where you can turn them and point them where you want. So, all right, so next part is to tear this framing out and reframe it. And then the only thing I have after that is to wire it, set up the switch, and then build the basket, which is all that right there. And then we're ready to test. I did find out a good news though. When my garage door comes up all the way, the opening is about 6 inches from the edge of my garage door. So I will be able to take it up and down with the garage door open. That, I'm glad. Because where I wanted it before, those brackets were in the way. So now I can go up and down with the garage door open. And that'll help load stuff. You know, like I said, this thing supports 500 pounds. Like if I was to get an air conditioning replaced, the guy who actually does it is gonna love this. All right, be back in a minute. All right, so I got the safety switch installed. And actually both of them. There's a safety switch that recognizes when it's up all the way. And then there's one that recognizes when it's down all the way. Cables are run. I got slack on them right now. And then got the cables over here run also. They're good. Now it's time to go ahead and take out these joists and frame this stuff in. I gotta take all this stuff out. Once all the framing's done, then I can clean it up. I still gotta build the main basket that everything sits in. Okay, so now we gotta cut. Get my finger in the right spot. We have to cut this joist out here and another one on the other side over there. one down. And I got to get this one. Sawdust everywhere. It's not that heavy. It's just bulky. Now I got to cut that off to my mark, which I've marked it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook my winch up to this big one. So when I cut it off, I'll have something holding it. Give you a quick look at my little winch up there. It's a 1-ton winch, and take it around about the center of that beam, and that should hold it as I cut it down. You know, all I need to, whoops, let me get my hand out the way. All I need is to have just, you know, a hand that can, you know, one hand to hold it. I don't actually have to support the weight. So we'll take this end off first, since it's the hardest end to get. Yeah, this is how you do it. Makes it much easier. And that's going to be one of my frames on this side right here. I got to clean that up a little bit. I'll do this now. All right, so I just got finished putting up this beam here. I still have to do the back side of those joist hangers there. But those are all up. That one's all up. And it's nice and square. Now I gotta build that one. All right, so I got the second piece of framing in. And then now I gotta clean up some drywall, so don't critique my drywalling skills too much, because if I throw enough mud on it, you won't notice. But that one's framed, that one's all framed, and now all I gotta do is drywall this side, and then I'll be ready to start building that the main carriage or basket. All right, there's our other side drywall. So all I got to do now is put some mud on it, put some tape and mud on the seams. All right, so there we have our openings all trimmed out. Might have got the wrong color paint, but I can come back and touch that up. Put a little trim around it. Built the basket. Let me get a better look at it. I still need to put the platform on in the bottom. Leveled it. And see if I can put this on my, give you an idea. It's not what you would call very fast. That was one of the complaints by a lot of people. But, you know, I'm not looking at racing. Put this on my tripod here. I'm not looking at racing up and down. No matter what, it's going to be faster than carrying it up the ladder. I still got to install the key. It's like it's strange how oh my goodness, I got this on backwards. So this whole top part, yeah, this whole thing, this whole top section is on backwards. I need to flip it around because the counterweights aren't lined up. So I got to take it back down and get that fixed. Might be able to just, I think I might just be able to flip it around. Yeah, I think that's all I got to do. But yeah, it's not exactly fast, but it's good enough. Let me get this flipped around and I'll be back. All right, people. So here is the finished product. All I need to do is put the cover on the switch plate up there where the key goes. I prefer not to have it on the ceiling, but the light is up there. The power comes from that switch. I really don't have another place to put it. So you have to get up on a stool and use it, which, you know, a little inconvenient, but it is what it is. So trimmed, got the bottom piece on. Here's the key. Just turn it. And like I said, it's not the fastest. But it supports 500 pounds.
It is big. I'm not going to run it all the way to the floor. But then you just take the key and turn it the other way. This, I'll show you one day. I'll bring it back down and show you. This piece of wood here that goes flush up against the ceiling, it's pretty cool. Once it comes down low enough, you'll see it's actually held on to the bottom. Should be seeing it here shortly. By these springs. So when it goes all the way up, the platform actually recesses up into the opening while this stays flat against the ceiling. So those springs allow it to kind of put tension on it. And then when the motor feels the tension, it shuts it off. And there you have it. Now all I gotta do is just run some paint over this piece of plywood and project's done.
So here we go. Finished product, everything put away. Even has some stuff up on it. Yeah, some people might not like to have the key up on the ceiling. But I don't really have a choice. Unless I want to run the wiring all down the walls and stuff, I'm just not going to do that. So I got some containers to take up. That, some Christmas stuff. And other than it being pretty slow, I like it. Painted up. I found the right color paint. Problem is the paint was really old, so it had all kinds of nasty stuff in it, but it did what I needed to do. There it is. The paint needs to dry a little bit, but yeah, see that those bubbles? We can just say I textured it, but not too bad. Come back over this way, see it from a distance. It looks good. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them below. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't. Leave some comments. Y'all have a good one.